Hey guys, welcome to another video of Nixit. This is my Hyundai Creta from 2018. This is 1.6 liter petrol vehicle and it has a manual transmission. And I have recently completed 3 years with this vehicle and it was overall a very good experience. So far I have completed about 82,500 kilometers on this vehicle in the last 3 years. And I have some important information to share with you guys. How was my experience altogether? What was the total amount I have paid for this vehicle? How much of expense I have made in the service? And also about the damages that I have noticed in this vehicle in the last 3 years, including some recently noticed damages. So if you are planning to buy a Hyundai vehicle or any vehicle for that matter, you might get to know a lot of information about owning a new vehicle in this generation. And also, as you're already noticing, this video is going to be entirely in English. क्यों भाई, क्या हुआ? हिंदी बोलने में शर्म आती है क्या? No, that's only because I'm just experimenting. अच्छा ठीक है, आगे बोलो. So now without wasting any more time, let's start. Now as you can see, I have this file with me. This came from the Hyundai showroom when I bought this Creta, and it has all the information about how many service payments I have done so far. All the bills are collected in this file, and also about all the payments that I have done before the delivery. So this is actually an expense file as well as the ownership file, you can say, and it also maintains all the records of the service that I have done so far from the authorized Hyundai service center. But before I tell you about all the expenses, let me tell you a brief story about why I purchased this Creta and how was my ownership experience so far. About 4 years back, when I was looking to buy a new vehicle, I was very fond of having a big size SUV.
अरे तो तुमने क्रेटा क्यों ली?
But then big size SUVs were very limited in the budget that I was carrying, and XUV 500 was very expensive for that matter. But Creta was giving me a good feel and it had a great prestige in my city as well. Also, me and my dad, we both are tall men. I am 6 feet, he is about 5'8". So we both loved driving this particular vehicle. It felt really better than driving a sedan and a hatchback for that matter. I know this is not a full-size SUV. This is also not a rear-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive. This is just a forward-wheel drive vehicle. However, it is sufficient to drive in the city. It has a good handling also. And it was also offering great package of features back in 2018. So it was pretty satisfactory for us. And also me and my father, we both are not hardcore off-roaders, we're just soft-roaders. We drive it in the city, sometimes in the rural areas and most time on the highway. In fact, I tell you, 82,500 kilometers have been covered in this vehicle and I think about 60,000 of those are done only in the highway. When we were purchasing this vehicle, we did not know that we are going to drive this vehicle so extensively. It gave us so much of good experience that we kept on driving this everywhere we decided to go. And we did not opt for a diesel vehicle, we opted for a petrol vehicle. Just in the first year, that is from April 2018 to April 2019, we did about 55,000 kilometers on this vehicle, which was a huge number for a petrol car. And our decision turned out to be great because the petrol variant of the Creta is much more refined than the diesel variant of the Creta, obviously. But the overall NVH level was remarkably very good because petrol Creta is so silent, so calm, no vibration at all. You feel very good in this car when you drive it with your family and you decide to go on long journeys as well. There's no trouble at all. You all feel very comfortable. The suspensions are fine enough for good roads as well as little bad roads. Overall handling and all is also very good. When we got its delivery, we opted for a few accessories as well. We got the full floor laminated, we got the mats, we opted for Teflon coating on the exterior, and also we opted for tinted glass film so that we get some solar protection also. Later on, I got some accessories like this net for the windows to give me some sunshades. Last year, we got this original Hyundai tan leather seats from the Hyundai service center itself. Also, I put LED lights in this vehicle, which was not needed as such, but it looked very good after we installed it, and I've also given you a video of it already. Also, we changed the gear knob because it wasn't looking premium before, but it looks really nice now. And we also got the steering leather wrapped by the RS Car Accessories, which is a good place in Nagpur to get some car decorations. Talking further about family comfort and the ownership experience, we did 2 long trips with this vehicle. One was from Nagpur to Pune and then Pune to Nagpur back in about 2 days of time, and that was a very comfortable journey altogether because the variety of roads that we experienced, some 3-lane roads, some 2-lane roads, some single-lane roads as well, and some under construction bad roads as well. So overall the vehicle was very comfortable. The other trip that I did with my family was Nagpur to Indore and then Indore to Nagpur back in about 2 or 3 days, and again the comfort level for the family was quite satisfactory in this vehicle. The ride and handling quality of this vehicle was very good since the very beginning. Actually, that was the USP of Creta since Hyundai launched it. And that is also one of the reasons why this vehicle got so much of success in India ever since it was launched in 2015. The steering response is actually very good. When you drive it on the highway, the steering gets a little bit hard to match your speed and give you a lot of driving confidence. And when you're driving in the city, the steering gets so much light that you can easily handle it in tight traffic as well as in the tight corners, parking areas, or even in the colony areas for that matter. High speed stability is also so good in this vehicle. Earlier I used to drive it in 120 kmph or 140 kmph of speed, and it was always stable and it gave me a lot of confidence while driving at that speed. I don't recommend those speeds to anybody, but I was just testing this vehicle and I found it very satisfactory to drive at that speed as well. Eventually I also drove it at 174 kmph.
अरे भाई illegal speed है वो, इतना तेज नहीं चलाना चाहिए.
Yeah, that is actually an illegal speed and I don't recommend anybody to do that on public roads, but I was just testing this vehicle and I drove it up to 174 kilometers of speed in a well-known highway which is always lonely, which has no traffic at all, which has fencing on all the sides. So eventually it was safe to test this vehicle there, and the 174 speed was so smooth, no vibrations, no harshness. The engine was not behaving like it is struggling to reach that speed, and it was very smooth for entire family because we did not even realize that the speed of the vehicle is so high at that time. So overall the drive dynamics of this vehicle are absolutely fantastic. Now let me tell you about the recent off-road that I have been doing with this vehicle.
Harrier का off-road video भूल गया, फंसा दी थी Creta.
Yeah, actually that was my mistake when I decided to do a off-roading video with this vehicle as well as with Harrier. For that video, the off-road scenes of my Creta were shot in August 2019, whereas the off-road scenes of Harrier were shot in September 2019, 1 month later. So it was actually my mistake. I shouldn't have taken this vehicle in extreme off-road situations, and also I was not skilled enough to drive my vehicle in the off-road situations to take it out when it was stuck. But somehow I handled the situation, and in the very first few minutes I got the vehicle out of the mud, and I decided to not repeat that situation anymore. But when I drive it in real life situation and I go through some muddy roads, some muddy potholes, water potholes, rural areas, some adventure rides, it actually doesn't give me that type of problem at all. So overall this vehicle is pretty ready to drive it in any situation like city, highway, rural areas, mild off-roads, anywhere you want to drive it, and it is actually decent to rely on. Now let me tell you about the best and worst mileage records that I have seen in this vehicle. Most of the time my dad drives this vehicle because I don't get sufficient time to drive this vehicle often. But whenever I drive this vehicle in city or highway, overall I get 13 kmpl of mileage with my driving, because I drive in about 80 to 100 of speed or sometimes 120 of speed, and that is my minimum mileage with this vehicle that I've got, that is 13 kmpl. However, when my dad drives this vehicle, he drives it so decently in about 70 to 80 kmph of speed in about 1.5 or 2000 of RPMs, and he drives it so smoothly that we don't even realize that we are moving. He often gets about 18 to 19 kmpl of mileage, but in some good favorable days he has even achieved about 23 kmpl of mileage in this vehicle, which we have never seen again, but in the initial days he got that mileage. Now let me tell you about the few damages that I have noticed in this vehicle which are not yet resolved, and they have occurred one by one in the last 3 years. So let's list them out one by one. First thing is the reading lamps. They are not automatic anymore. So if you unlock the vehicle by the remote from a distance, the lights won't turn on automatically anymore. If your car is parked and the engine is running, you open the door, still the lights won't turn on. So actually the switch button has been damaged. That is why the automatic function is no longer working properly. However, if I want to manually turn them on, they will work pretty well. The second thing that is damaged is the main USB port of the vehicle, which has direct connection with the infotainment screen. So if in case I want to use the Apple CarPlay, I can no longer use the Apple CarPlay with this USB port. Earlier I used to use the Apple CarPlay with my iPhone, and it allowed me using the Google Maps on the infotainment screen, which was a very great help for me to drive in the unknown locations, because the turn-by-turn directions work really well with the speakers as well as on the screen. But I can no longer use that function, and it is very upsetting for me because that was a very important function for me to use the music as well as the maps. Talking about the infotainment, there is also something wrong with the speakers now. They're not bad as such, but the little bit of distortion is being noticed in the speakers. I don't know how. However, the 3 years of this vehicle's age is now easily audible in the speakers as well. So now they're not giving us that much of clarity in the audio in loud volume, but that's still decent to play. Now, if I also want to highlight something important about the drive, I want to tell you about the brake pedal. It is a little bit jerky in some off-road situations as well as some bad road situation. When I'm crossing the waters on the road, the brake pedal gives a lot of jerk. I know that is something about the ABS. However, I don't think this much of jerk is acceptable. This feels very annoying and sometimes very scary when I need some urgent braking. Even the steering response has become slightly harder, so now it no longer feels the real Creta that it used to be back in 2018. But for somebody who has been driving this vehicle continuously for the last 3 years, he feels very good with this vehicle. For example, my father. But I realize my Creta's steering is no longer working that well is because I keep driving new vehicles on the showrooms and other people's vehicles. Just like the brake pedal, even the clutch is becoming a little bit harder now. I don't know what. Maybe it requires a quick service soon. Eventually we keep taking good service twice a year, but this time I think the clutch system needs some repair because the clutch doesn't feel that soft at all. After 3 years of usage, this car's clutch is just not same smooth as it was before. So the driving confidence that we used to get in shifting as well as in the pickup as well as in the normal city drives is not the same. So we have to make a little bit of extra effort while shifting gears or driving it in low speeds. One of the most annoying problems of this vehicle was the DRL. See, the DRL is supposed to stay on without turning on the tail lamp or without impacting anything in the cabin. But my DRL actually starts the tail lamp as well, and also it dims the brightness of the infotainment system as if I have turned on the headlamp during the night. So actually the infotainment behaves like if the DRL is on, this means that I'm driving at night, and that is why the brightness of the infotainment goes very low. So if I'm driving in a sunny day, it is very difficult for me to keep the DRL on and still see the infotainment screen very clearly. So that is a pretty annoying thing which I don't like in this vehicle. I told this to the service center right in the first service, but they said that this is not a problem at all. But I noticed that the previous generation Verna, which was being sold with this vehicle, had no similar DRL problem like this Creta. So that was actually annoying, and the service center has failed to resolve also. Even they failed to resolve this reading lamp issue. Now the other thing is the key. So this is not my primary key, this is my primary key, which is now a little bit older, as you can see the clarity. So this one is actually a very new key, this is least used key, and I have recently used the keychain on this because this key's battery is now low. So this doesn't frequently open the doors for me, this doesn't even activate the request sensors properly, this doesn't even start the engines properly. So recently whenever I was failing to unlock the vehicle with the remote or with the request sensor, I was having to press the button multiple times. That is the reason I have switched keys. Now I'm using this one. I'll change the battery of this one soon, and I'll get this key back in action. I know a lot of issues that I'm reporting in this video are going to be resolved in the next service, but many of these issues are there with me for the last 3 years and they were not resolved by the service center as such. So I'm just living with them. Now let's look into the price that I paid for this vehicle. The on-road cost of my Creta 1.6 petrol SX Plus was about 14.5 lakh rupees, and about 50,000 of accessories were fitted in this vehicle. So total 15 lakh rupees is what I paid for this vehicle. 10.5 lakh rupees out of that was the loan. 23,000 rupees of EMI is what I'm paying every month for it. So overall I had paid about 4.5 lakh rupees of down payment that time in April 2018. Now let's look into the expenses that I have made, that is the service cost, maintenance cost, the part replacements, including the battery and the 4 tires. When I talk about the tires, I also tell you that the Stepney is still unused. I have never taken it out. I never got a chance to take it out. The tire never went puncture. And even in some unfavorable days when I noticed that the tire pressure was low, I got them refilled and I never had a problem with them as well. Now let's look into the service bills that I have for the last 3 years. That's a big number.
So like I said, the total on-road cost that I paid for this vehicle was 14.5 lakh rupees plus 50,000 rupees worth of accessories were there. 4.5 lakh rupees is the amount that I paid in the down payment, and I am paying 23,000 rupees as an EMI every month. 10.5 lakh rupees was the loan amount for this vehicle. Now let me tell you about the maintenance cost for this vehicle in the last 3 years that I have paid. First service was done on the 12th of May 2018. It was a basic first service and I spent about 6,000 rupees for it. The second service was done on January 2019. Parts replacement costed 6,618 rupees, whereas the labor cost was 6,714 rupees. Another service was done in June 2019 for 6,900 rupees for part replacement and 6,000 rupees of labor cost. After that, another service was supposed to be done in early 2020, but due to the lockdown, we couldn't do any service in 2020. The last service we got was in January 2021. The parts replaced were worth 5,100 rupees, whereas the labor cost was 7,300 rupees. So over the time, service cost kept on increasing, and the total cost we have paid so far for the service including the parts was 45,000 rupees. Now let's look into the components that were replaced either for some damages or some accidental issues. Firstly, lower bumper was replaced right in the first month for rupees 2,100. Secondly, a right side ORVM was broken by a truck and it costed me 2,000 rupees to replace its glass. After that, the left side ORVM was completely broken. Its unit was entirely broken and it costed me 6,000 rupees for its replacement with paint. Later, all 4 tires of this vehicle were replaced for rupees 22,000 rupees including the labor cost. Battery of this vehicle was replaced in early 2020 for rupees 6,000 rupees. So total components were replaced for 59,000 rupees, and now overall service and component and part replacement costed me total 1,04,000 rupees. Now if I look into the outstanding loan amount of this vehicle, it's about 6 to 6.5 lakh rupees after completion of 3 years. Resale price of this vehicle in 3 years on the online sites, it is shown as 8 to 9.5 lakh rupees based on the condition. However, in real life I only get about 6.5 to 7 lakh rupees in offers. So the actual resale price after 3 years is exactly same as the loan outstanding amount, which means if I decide to sell off my vehicle as of today, I will have no money left in my pocket. All of it will go to the bank to repay the loan. So business wise or productivity wise, I actually own no asset, just a liability. And now if I compare my Creta's overall 3-year expenses with a rental car, a good quality rental car will cost me about 25,000 rupees of rent per month, which will be about 9 lakh rupees for 3 years, which will include the service cost right from the owner of it or the car rental provider, and I will only have to pay the rent. So 9 lakh rupees is quite cheap for it, and when I decide to give the car back to the provider, I will have no asset left, no money left. but the total spendings will be just 9 lakh rupees. Whereas in my own Creta, I spent 4.5 lakh rupees for down payment, 8.28 lakh rupees for EMI with interest, and 1 lakh 4,000 rupees for its maintenance. That is total 13.78 lakh rupees, and it is almost 5 lakh rupees more expensive than having a rental car for 3 years. In fact, in the case of a rental car, I can even change my car whenever I want. Apart from this, if I compare my car's expense with a used car purchase, so suppose if I had purchased a pre-owned car back in 2018, the best choices were a Honda City or an XUV 500. Both of those could be available in about 7 lakh rupees, and I must have spent just about rupees 1 lakh or less for 3 years of maintenance for such cars, which means a total of rupees 8 lakhs would have been spent on a pre-owned car for this time period without having any more liability from the bank. So total 8 lakh rupees. So total 8 lakh rupees of spending, still having the car as an owner and not having to pay any more EMIs. That is the best and most smart way of spending money without much losses. Hence, in conclusion, I can say that in terms of resale, I am at a loss. In terms of asset ownership, I am at a loss. But if I look at my Creta as at least I have a car, I can use it for my family. It's not a business, it's just utility. Its value is low, but keeping it forever is fine. That is when the car makes sense to me, and therefore I may not sell it for buying another car. Instead, I'll keep this alongside a second car.
Alright guys, that's all for now. I hope you got sufficient amount of information about my Creta's ownership review, and also you have got sufficient information if you're planning to buy a new vehicle and you want to make your mind whether owning a vehicle is good or not, whether you should buy a brand new vehicle or a used vehicle. However, if you still have some doubt in your mind, don't forget that I have placed my contact information right in the description for you. You can contact me and you can discuss with me about any car purchase that you're planning to make, and I will try to help you based on your situation, your requirements and your preferences, so that you can make a wise decision and invest your money wisely in a good car. In the upcoming videos, I'll share a lot more information about your car ownership. I'll also share some tips and tricks to maintain your car so well that the resale value becomes better. Also, many new car reviews are coming up. So stay tuned with me and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have liked the video, don't forget to click the like button, share with me your opinion in the comments. And until next video, goodbye and drive safe.